Hey lovers, it's Paige, founder of Love on Demand, and today I want to talk about AI and how AI has affected the romance space, the romance industry, the romance community. Whenever I learn about something, I'm like, ooh, let me learn everything about it. And so I went down a rabbit hole.
There are a lot of authors that are sounding the alarm right now that there's an imposter among us.
That's not what the fans want to see. That's literally what the fans don't want to see.
If a book has an AI-generated cover, I can confidently assume AI was also used to help write the book, and or the writing is...
I still think of artificial intelligence from The Terminator and The Matrix. In all of those movies, it doesn't end up good.
Come with me if you want to live.
So I think that's why people are so scared of it too, because that's the story that we hear, that's the story that we know. People are worried that AI is gonna write everything we watch, write everything we read, write everything we listen to, and at what point do we get to kind of keep, as human beings, our creative space? That's really what prompted me to wanna get into this thing with AI. So I talked to fans first. I wanted to see if you cared as much as me.
I would probably scream, cry, and throw up.
I think you'd ruin it for me.
I'm like scared that you're gonna be like, your favorite book is actually AI.
If I enjoyed it and I truly felt something about it, it wouldn't discourage me from keeping that as a favorite.
I think I'd be surprised if I really did enjoy it. Like, oh, maybe there is more to AI than I had previously thought.
Is there a disclaimer? If AI is writing or reading anything to me before I open that book or bought that Audible, I want to know if it's AI. And I think actually we have the right to know. So I wanted to talk to people who have encountered AI. One author I talked to, January Rain, she's awesome, she's a fantasy writer, and she told me about her own experience with AI.
Basically in 2022, I released a little Halloween novella called Carnival of Creeps. I had a membership to Adobe Stock, and I saw a piece of artwork. To me, it just looked like a digital hand paint, but I didn't know what AI was. I had no clue. So I made my cover with it. Towards the end of 2023, I think is where AI kind of started being a conversation piece. And so when I went back, I had found that Carnival of Creeps, that image was an AI image. And I was like, oh, no, absolutely not. I reached out to my designer. I said, immediately, we're fixing this. We're taking it down. So this is the new cover, and it's just a ticket booth. It really doesn't take that much time to create your own unique cover.
Sometimes if I'm scrolling and I'm like, is that AI? I'll go to the comments to see what they think, if they think it's AI. Because sometimes I can't tell. I'm like, are those people? We all have access to stock libraries. All of them now are using AI-generated material in those stock libraries. But now you can filter your search to have not AI-generated material as part of whatever you're licensing. Use AI, it is a tool, whatever. However, human beings have a right to know when something isn't generated by a human. So last year, I saw the author community was suing Meta because they're using other people's work as a training tool to create stories from the ground up. So is it stolen? Yes.
When I found out that Meta had used the books and they used 12 of mine, I could send a letter to have them take it down, but are they going to? It's really defeating. There's got to be other authors out there too that just feel absolutely crushed and kind of backed into a corner when it comes to AI programs using our books to train its algorithm.
12 books on one author. That's a lot. After my conversation with January, I ended up chatting with Sarah Wendell. You might know her. She has this blog, podcast, Smart Pitches, Trashy Books. She had a lot to say about this as well.
All of my books were used to train AI. This is very basic, but it should be opt-in. You don't get to steal my work. It is copyrighted to me. That has a meaning. That model was trained on something it didn't have permission to use, and I can't undo it. The toothpaste is out of the tube.
They just took it. There was no exchange. I think because so many authors were taken advantage of in a moment and they all kind of got together and they went after Meta in this class action lawsuit. And the good news is in August of 25, they were awarded a settlement. $3,000 per book with how much Meta is worth. I think they could do better. I'm sure a lot of you, like myself, are KU subscribers, Kindle Unlimited. And now I'm learning that Kindle Unlimited is being flooded with AI content.
Oh boy.
I don't even know why they have a pen name. It should just be like written by AI. And then there's this whole subreddit community that's like, can we please find out if this is a real author because I'm not seeing a social media presence, which is scary because we should know if what we're reading is generated by a person.
Do consumers know that what they might be consuming is AI? Probably not. But the problem is The more KU is filled with AI-generated books and narrators, that's going to greatly reduce your ability to find and read good books.
When AI books are in KU, that takes from the pause. As a human, I would prefer if other humans got their buyout besides a machine.
To watch all of these books proliferate with absolutely no human behind it, that's very unnerving.
At the end of the day, it needs to be up to the reader to decide. Like, oh, this book was written by AI. I don't know about that. That's an important distinction. And if readers don't mind, that's their decision. But if readers do mind, at least they have that option. Disclosing that a book was written by AI, it needs to be important. And AI books, I don't think they belong in Kindle Unlimited.
There's so many authors out there writing books. What do I need AI generated material for? People are trying every day to write their own stories. If I'm gonna have thoughts provoked, if I'm gonna have feelings elicited, I'd rather it be a person than some digital entity telling me what to think, how to think, or evoking any emotion out of me. That just feels so wrong. So yeah, I mean, I do use AI. I use ChatGPT to edit some of my emails or edit something I've written poorly, or I ask it questions if I don't know the answers and I'm too lazy to Google search and I'm driving in my car and I'm like, hey Siri. We all use AI to a degree in our daily lives. But now I went and talked to somebody who uses it even more and uses it for a living. He helps authors figure out how to get their books discovered online so that they can better market their books. And his name is Dave.
I really see a world or a future where these poorly done AI books are going to suffer.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
One of the mistakes that Amazon has made, and I bet you they're going to correct this, is that when it comes to a KU book, Amazon's system marks a download as a success, not the actual pages read. Let's say, for example, one KU book had 100 downloads, but no pages read. And another KU book had 10 downloads and all the pages were read by all 10. Amazon will actually reward the 100 download more so over the 10. I strongly believe that Amazon's gonna have to figure this out because Amazon as a store will no longer have the trust and love of their shoppers if they keep promoting crappy AI books.
Will you stop, Dave? I know I've made some very poor decisions recently.
We are consumers and our buying power matters. What we need is for regulators and tech companies to listen when we say no.
What really matters is what we think as consumers, right? What readers think, what the masses think, what the populace thinks. So I had to go out there and talk to a few people to see what they thought.
I do care. I prefer for it not to be crafted by AI.
I don't think I would necessarily care. I guess a disclaimer. That would be most likely what I would look for.
I would like to know that this came from another human being.
I would say generally I do care. I just think using AI is a little disrespectful.
I guess I see it as a tool for inspiration. I just see it as a threat for competitors.
I think it could be a tool, especially to getting stuff out quicker for authors or if they really want to understand a topic further.
I think if you just purely use it to write all your books, it's going to be a threat.
We don't know enough about AI that we see it as a threat, but once you know how to utilize it and use it to your benefit, it's just always going to make your life better and easier.
I think it will try to, but I think that that's up to kind of us as a society to decide how far we're going to let it go.
I definitely feel like I could see it replacing creativity in the future, but I don't want that to be the case.
I don't think it's possible for AI to fully replace creativity. I just feel like at the end of the day, there'll be more people advocating for their work and creativity versus not.
Obviously, AI is not just limited to the content we watch or the things that we read, but it's also taking over the voices we listen to. I didn't even think about it really as I started this journey until I talked to a narrator. Love this guy, Tor Tom. I'm sure you've heard him. He's narrated a ton of books. You'll know him because he narrated the first 3 Heated Rivalries. He also works in publishing. So he actually had a lot of interesting takes on this as well.
Like many of us, I have different lives, so to speak. And so I am an executive editor at an academic publishing company. In addition to that, I've been from a university setting. I move, I guess, from the boardroom to the classroom to the booth. My own personal opinion, and I think the opinion of many, it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, for AI as currently construed to match the warmth and the depth of human narration. And so for me, the fear of replacement in the booth, that a machine would be doing my job, I don't think that's coming. One of my fellow narrators, and apologies for my French in advance, he famously will say, robots can't.
You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
There are emotions that are very hard to artificially generate. AI lacks wisdom, and we're going to need human beings. If you are doing a duet or multicast, where you're actually splicing lines in and making it sound like everybody was in the same studio, those costs can be pretty steep. There may be books that simply never could be made into audio because of the cost involved that could find a home in the ears of some listeners.
I like knowing that a human had to go through the emotions of reading that scene and then thinking, how am I gonna read that out loud? And it has to be filthy, right? Because I think the filthier it is, the more a robot will not deliver. I cannot imagine. Although, you know what? Who knows? But I don't want it to be delivered by a robot. I want a man to do it. Millions of books are published every year, but only a fractional percent of them make it to an audio narrated version. I'll tell you who suffers when it isn't voiced: authors, because it limits their reach. If I knew that more authors could get more reach because AI is narrating their books, then I want to champion it for those authors. That's tricky too.
Well, I think the answer really depends on how it's being used. I personally love the idea of AI as a muse and as an assistant. I can't even count how many times I've lost a day or two in writing because I had severe writer's block. Having something come in to kickstart that and help me has been a boon to my writing. If the publishing companies, though, are really trying to drive it beyond its capability or cut out the people who understand the tropes, it's only going to kind of clash and cause problems. But the ones that are, looking at it as a tool, a little sparkle of creativity, spicing things up a little bit, it'll allow them to get better books out faster. And I think that's a wonderful thing.
Honestly, I think there's room for both to succeed in this space. It's tricky. It's tricky. It's all tricky.
Whether or not to use AI tools is an ethical consideration that individuals need to make for themselves. I'm not in favor of it, but I only govern myself.
Personally, I try not to judge other people's ethics in that respect. I think it really comes down to that particular person. For example, the new author that can't afford to have a narrator do their book, or, they don't have the equipment or opportunity to do it themselves. Giving them an opportunity to do that is great. I think what's really important, though, is authors need to be comfortable with what they do.
I think one of the questions that sometimes it gets phrased as, is artificial intelligence going to make us dumber? And I think it all depends upon how we use artificial intelligence. You can use AI to access information quickly, to turn hours into minutes or even seconds. And if we do that, we're going to become better, smarter, quicker, more creative. That's technology at its best. Technology at its worst is when we quit thinking. We quit doing the basic things that make us human. If we lose the ability to think critically, if we lose the ability to communicate, if we lose the ability to write, we're in trouble.
We did all this research. We see how it's coming in. We see what's happening from all perspectives. But the reality is, do you care? I would really be curious to know what you guys think. Do you care if what you're reading is generated by AI? If you knew that what you were reading that's generated by AI was helping somebody else in some other facet, would you care less or more? I'm curious to know what your take is on all of this. Post that in the comments below. Like and subscribe, lovers. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you want to hear about. I want to know who you want me to talk to and what you want me to talk about, what you want me to uncover, what you want me to think about, what you're thinking about. Like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments below.